Hello and welcome to the movie podcast review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We're finally here, folks. We're finally here. Today, I'm joined by my two other lovely co-hosts, Daniel.
Bring me the emerald, Sonic.
Oh my God, are you Robotnik or are you Idris Elba?
That was just Idris Elba talking to Sonic.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It wasn't Knuckles. It was just Idris Elba.
You guys are like, I say you're like, I don't know if you're my Knuckles though. If I'm Sonic, are you my Knuckles?
Are you Sonic though?
I am Sonic. That's
You think
why
Sonic?
I just said I'm Sonic.
All right, then you're Sonic. Yeah.
And
Anthony's definitely the Robotnik though.
yeah, oh yeah.
Why?
No, you're Tails.
I could be Tails.
Anthony's Tails.
All right.
And you're Knuckles then, I guess.
Sure.
Or you're
I'm the KS Emerald.
You're James Marsden.
I'm James Marsden. Yeah, I'll be James Marsden.
That dude that dies.
You're Shemar Moore.
Oh, okay. I'll be Shemar Moore.
Yeah, you can be Shemar
You
Moore.
have the really intense goatee though.
Yeah. I could do it. No problem.
As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're still in the hunt for those 200 5-star reviews.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Very close. We're also very close to our Instagram 1,000 members. We're very close. We're at, I think, about 25 left.
About that. I'd say less than 25.
That's like a classroom.
It is, yeah. So what Jay's saying is go to a random school, enter the classroom, and then just make the students follow us on Instagram. We know they have their phones.
Students have Instagram.
They know.
No, they're gonna troll us, man. Those kids these days are gonna troll us.
They will now because you said it.
Yeah, you've invited the trolling upon us.
It's their nature, man.
Oh,
They're
it's
trolls,
their nature.
little trolls.
But you can also do something else. Instead of trolling us, you can also email us at
hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca.
And we did drop something a little recently.
We did. What did we drop? What was that?
I think it was something to keep our lovely bodies covered.
It's to keep our troll bodies warm.
God. Why are we?
Yeah, we did. We dropped some merch very recently. So finally, this has been a long time coming, a long time in the making. We've partnered with the good folks over at Bonfire to bring you official The Movie Podcast merch, which you could purchase now. We have t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and lots. And every shirt that you purchase goes to Bonfire to the cause and to also to help us to keep the lights and the mics on here at the Movie Podcast. So if you want to do that, check out our show notes below for the merch links because they're pretty nice. We've been rocking them for a couple weeks now.
We have been, and people keep staring at us and saying that those look like hot fire.
What are those shirts you're wearing?
Yeah,
well, it's our show.
Listen, go to our link
and buy this.
Yeah, and I
and
sent
buy
them the
this.
link. Yeah. Again, the movie we're talking about today is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I do want to give a huge shout out to Paramount. Thank you so much for inviting us to watch this movie. We can't wait to talk about it. And Daniel, do you want to let us know what Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is all about?
I will. After settling in Green Hills, Sonic is eager to prove he has what it takes to be a true hero. His test comes when Dr. Robotnik returns, this time with a new partner, Knuckles, in search of an emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick, Tails, and together they embark on a globe-trotting journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Or paws.
Do they have paws?
Or mittens.
Well, they're wearing gloves.
Man, they had long fingers for such small animals.
Yeah.
But they also have like large features, like large heads, large feet, large hands,
Yeah.
but normal sized torso.
I feel like their hands are really long though. They have long fingers. Like they should be more puffier.
Is this your first reaction, by the way, about the movie? Yes. That you're reacting to their
My
body
reaction
shapes?
is the hands should be puffier.
Well, Anthony, please hit us more with your first reactions then.
And Anthony just watched the first Sonic movie too.
Yes,
he
did.
just recently watched it.
I
yeah.
just watched it.
And you think I'm a huge fan.
2-3 days ago. So yeah, going into a little bit of my history with Sonic the game. So played it a lot. I think my very first game for Sega was Sonic 2. I think it was bundled with the Sega Genesis. And I love Sonic. I thought Sonic was, like, as a platformer, a fantastic game. Just the levels, being able to loop the loop, and
go fast.
As a kid, you love roller coasters. You like going fast. You like the speed of things, and that's just what that game was, all speed and going crazy. But yeah, I enjoyed the first one. I thought the story element could have involved a lot more Sonic than it did with the humans, and I think that's where I'm at with the second one. I really like the second one as well. There is a lot of homage to just the Sonic games and how the character acts and how we have Knuckles now, we have Tails, the crew is kind of like together. But the thing about Sonic 2 for me was the story was at times could be really fun, and then sometimes it could be really serious, and then the comedy could be very old, like just the way they were referencing certain things. It just felt outdated, something I would have probably saw in the 2000s, and then it could get really funny where you would laugh. So it just felt like it didn't know what it wanted. Like it felt like it was just a mess of and not in a bad way, but just a mess of different things happening and not being cohesive together. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost like
it felt
a sensory
Sonic.
overload. Yeah.
Like it felt like the game. Like it was just like a lot of things happening.
Frantic.
I don't really care for the human aspect of the storyline, like the connection with humans. I wish it was all animated, preferably, because I think that's where this movie shines, where you just interact with the animated characters. And I think Jim Carrey does a fantastic job. I also got tired of his caricature of Robotnik. It just seems very Jim Carrey and not what I would expect Robotnik to be. I got a lot of that in the first one, but he just went ham on the second one.
Jim Carrey in this one, I think, was just like, okay, whatever you did in the first one, which people liked a lot, people, and us included, say like Jim Carrey was probably the best part of the first Sonic movie. He was just let off the leash, and he just brought every single Jim Carrey-ism out of his repertoire in this movie, and even just references a lot of his other characters too, within this movie as well too. So you definitely felt a little Jim Carrey fatigue by the end of this movie.
And there was a fatigueness to this movie as well. This movie felt really long. There was parts of this film that didn't need to be long there. The directors chose paths to incorporate Sonic in different parts of the world that didn't make sense or just didn't work for me. But overall, this is like a kid's film. Like I really felt like we watched it with a bunch of kids. And I felt like, man, kids will love this film. As an adult, I also loved it, but I thought it could be, 20 minutes could have been cut out. Certain parts of the movie could have just been removed and told in a different way. And I wish there was just more animated Sonic. I think that's where it shined, and that's where I kind of fell in love with this film.
Thank you. Daniel, what about yourself? What are your first reactions?
Yeah, I'm in line with a lot of what Anthony said. I think this movie is so fun when it is Sonic and Knuckles together or Sonic and Tails together. Because like the first movie, anytime it's like the human plots, it's like, okay, I feel like this human element is only here like to appease the adults and who are watching this movie with their kids, because it's a very strange plots that the human characters are given, that they're going to Hawaii to I guess see like the sister-in-law from the first film get married, and then he gives only one ring for them to get back, and it's just very strange. And then the FBI is involved. It's a very weird subplot for a movie that has to do with just fighting colorful rodents, like battling and trying to get these emeralds. But I had
I feel like rodents is derogatory.
Well, they deserve it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They deserve it in this movie. No, but it's a lot of fun, and I think just like the first movie, the best parts of this film come from when Sonic is just being Sonic and having a good time. The parts that kind of made me wince and cringe a little bit is that this movie also tries really hard to be funny, and it does that thing that comedies do, where it's like, let me just not make a joke, but let me just say something you're familiar with. And there's a lot of elements in this movie where it's like, oh, of course Jim Carrey is going to floss in this movie, or they're going to drop, oh, they're on a winter mountain and they're going to say, oh, it's the Winter Soldier, and it's like they're just trying so hard to
humor.
They're just trying so hard just to not even make a joke, just say something that you recognize. And then it just outdates it, like even like seeing Jim Carrey floss, I'm like, well, maybe 5 years ago it would have been funny.
Not funny.
You know what I mean? Like it would have it's trying too hard to be funny at elements. But I really like Knuckles, and I totally understand why Knuckles is getting his own series spinoff, because he was really fun. And Shay, you made the comparison that he's like Drax in Guardians, that he doesn't really understand humor, so they lean into that. And I think Tails is phenomenal, and it's great seeing Sonic and Tails interact. But yeah, I had a great time with it. It just I think it tries too hard to be funny sometimes, but I think kids, like you said, I think kids are going to love it, and the kids at our screening definitely did love it. So yeah, That's where I'm
Can't
at.
wait for their reviews.
Can't wait for the kids' reviews. The kid movie podcast review.
Yeah, for me, very similar to you guys. I mean, I enjoyed this one more than the first one. And for the first one, I thought it was good. Like I had a good time with it, but like it wasn't anything that I was gonna go back to. But what I liked about this one more was because there were other characters from the Sonic universe, it allowed less humans this time. Still too many, in my opinion, but still less human interactions than at least the first one. Where in the first one, it was just Sonic and James Marsden going for a drive, which to me is always the silliest thing ever. Whereas this one, there was at least moments with him and Tails, him and Knuckles, and so on and so forth. So I liked that element of a lot more. But kind of what you brought up, Daniel, the referential jokes that they kept making, the nonstop references, it dates the movie and sets it in a place where who is it funny for anymore? Like kids for sure, but then the adults that are there, like, are they gonna get it, or are they gonna be in line with it? There's some good CG in terms of how the characters look. There's some bad CG in how certain elements look. There's a lot of fun in this movie. There's not much really to say about this other than it's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie and it's a sequel, and at this time they reduce some of the human characters.
Yeah, it's funny though that this movie is also over 20 minutes longer, and you definitely feel it. And I think this movie is way too long for what it is. And it didn't
need to be 3 hours. In my opinion.
Well, like, I don't know why they went for a 4:3 aspect ratio as well, but too is strange.
Preserve the Jeff Fowler's vision. I believe.
Exactly.
The wedding that you mentioned, Daniel, I think should have been removed.
Yeah,
and I understood why. I think the director was like, well, that's how we could get Sonic into the wedding from another part of the world, but it just made it super long, and you're just wondering, whoa, when is this movie going to end? Because I thought the ending was pretty big and it was really good, but it was to get to that ending, it was almost like you were dying in the water bubble level in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah,
that's a deep cut.
That is a reference right there. But yeah, it goes into kind of full big on CG spectacle, big light beam in the sky like we've seen in a million movies over the last 10 years, and. Yeah, but even with them not kind of directly having a human with them the entire time, every aspect they kind of went to was, okay, now we're in this this bar in Serbia where they're...
That was funny though.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was also like a really long scene. Like every moment it was just like, wow, we're really drawing this out and like trying to make this funny, and then that's where like the whole dance scene happens, which is fun. But it's also things I'm like, oh, this feels like you said, Anthony, like this is something that we would have seen like in an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie in the 2000s or any other like CG human character team up movie, Yogi Bear, things like that.
The whole plot line was very much from the early 2000s, and again, Ben Schwartz's Sonic is absolutely hilarious. I think he's really damn good as the character. But Idris Elba was what stole it from me, and every time Knuckles was on the screen, I really enjoyed it. You guys are right. Jim Carrey, we love Jim Carrey, but just a little bit too much. Like I felt like they let him way too much off the leash for this one.
Yeah.
The flossing scene alone was just really cringy. Like I don't think anyone in theater laughed at that scene.
And also like bringing back, the goat milk guy from the first movie, and then bringing back, I forget the actor's name, who's I think he was on Happy Endings, but
the cop,
the deputy. Yeah, it's like, man, like we're spending so much time with these characters that like these feel like deleted scenes in this movie that we didn't need this because it's just dragging the pace down so much.
And there's some humor that is not appropriate for kids, which I didn't understand. I get like they were trying to make the parents who are watching it.
Well, I'm trying to think now.
It was the one about waxing.
Oh yeah, waxing the down there. Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like this joke is
because it was so kid friendly to that point where it just felt
it felt out of place.
It felt super weird out of place. But you get like, if you're a Sonic fan, you're gonna love a lot of the things that you see. You see some really game related things.
Yeah, it's
see Tails is playing.
Tails is playing.
Cool, but I'm not going to go into all the other stuff. But no. Like those little things, just
a lot of fan servicey moments from the games.
Really cool. And you like Tails. You really do. You feel bad for Tails because he's like a fox that comes from. He's like
he's a fox.
He's this little fox that comes across really the universe because he really loves Sonic.
Okay, all right.
But Knuckles,
Take
like,
it easy there,
I know
buddy.
you love Knuckles, but it did feel like Idris Elba was just reading off a script.
Oh,
was.
100%.
100%
Idris
was.
Elba,
He did his whole thing in
This was one take.
an hour.
Idris Elba had 4 hours that day, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what lines you want me to read?" And then he did that.
Yeah, Idris Elba literally did one take for I think all the scenes, but it worked in some moments. But then, because we know Idris Elba, we're like, man, this is not good acting from him. Like he's not good doing good line delivery.
But we will shout out Colleen Shaughnessy, who is the voice of Tails.
Shaughnessy?
Yeah, who's just phenomenal as Tails. She's been the voice of
Yeah.
Tails for the last 10 years.
She's
great. Yeah.
she was great.
I didn't know Tails talk till recently.
Man, have you not played Team Sonic Racing?
Damn.
No, see, like I come from like the different version of
Yeah.
Sonic.
The last time Sonic
1,
was
2, and
good.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time it was good. They
Kidding.
didn't talk.
I'm
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
Sonic's okay now. I like Sonic.
But yeah, let's get into our final recommendations.
Let's
Let's
do it.
start off with Tails over here.
I would say if you are a fan of Sonic, this is a definite watch it. I didn't think it was a watch it for myself, but I would watch it again. If you have kids, this is a great watch it with them. You'll enjoy it. Don't expect this story to be like this groundbreaking video game story. It's a Sonic movie. It's fun. There are points of the plot, the story where you're just like, I wish they removed that, or maybe it's going too long. But I think overall, for what it's supposed to be, it's fantastic. So it's a watch it for me.
All right, and Knuckles.
Well, yeah, for myself, no. For myself, yeah, I think if you were a fan of the first Sonic movie, this is more of that movie. It doesn't feel too much of like that. It's pushing the needle forward in terms of like new elements. It's introducing other than Knuckles and Tails, which are really fun though. So I will give it that. We had a great time watching it, and I think kids are going to really love this movie. My biggest complaints for it, other than it being way too long than it needed to be, was that I think it tried too hard to be funny, and you don't need to work so hard to be funny when you have this lineup of characters and these video game characters. You could just let them be themselves, and I think that's when this movie really shines. It's when it's just classic Sonic adventure vibes happening from it.
Thank you. For myself, I'll say if you liked the first one, then you're going to like this one. They kind of carry the same DNA. If you haven't watched the first one, go watch the first one and then decide if you think you'd watch the second one, because that's really what's going to let you know. But it's a watch it. It's a good time. Again, the issues that we brought up are there, but it is what you get.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I don't think kids are going to care.
No.
Either. Kids are just gonna eat this movie up.
Yeah, they're gonna love it, and it's gonna make bank for sure.
I don't know if I said watch it or not, so I will
didn't
just
say watch
I
it,
will just say watch it for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd, and don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can join our Discord and write into the show at
hello at TheMoviePodcast.ca.
You can check out all of our show notes for all that information. And again, thank you so much to Paramount for having us come to watch this lovely movie. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.